Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is the Darklight Emissary, and today's video is going to cover a brief overview of 4 of the more secretive organizations in the Imperium's recruiting methods and sources, and some general questions about the organizations themselves. This question was asked in the Imperium of Man group on Facebook by a newer member of the lore and 40k itself. If you, as well as them, are new to 40k, welcome, glad to have you around, and to answer your questions. For number 1, we have the Inquisitors. They come from various sources. Sometimes a current Inquisitor will find someone they find promising and bring them into their retinue, and then possibly into a position of interrogator, which is basically imagine being an intern under an Inquisitor. Another way it could be found is through the Inquisition's many black ships, which roam secretly across the Imperium, hunting down unproven psychers. Some of these are given to the Emperor and the Golden Throne itself, but the rest that show promise are often given to the Inquisition as possible candidates to become an Inquisitor later, and after schooling become an interrogator under an Inquisitor to start. If they perform well for their Master Inquisitor, they can be vouched for or recommended to become an Inquisitor in full. And briefly, what is an Inquisitor? To put it simply, since the idea of this video isn't really what these roles do too much, imagine a ultimate secret agent with ultimate authority from the Emperor. They have the authority to punitively decide the death of worlds, people, etc. That being said, inquisitorial power is often tempered by the ultimate authority and autonomy of other organizations in the Imperium. An Inquisitor is not going to roll up to a Adeptus Mechanicus Forge world, declare them heretics, and go to war with them without some extreme evidence and also likely support and endorsement from the Mechanicus leadership themselves. For all of the corruption and nepotism type stuff in the Imperium, the Inquisition is a ultimate meritocracy in a number of ways. Most Inquisitors are highly intelligent, if not inflexible sometimes in their eventual beliefs, but have proven themselves over and over again to be competent warriors, scholars, and ultimately inquisitive, I guess you can say. They are allowed, almost compared to anyone else, to be more debate-oriented and able to be more free-thinking than anyone else in the Imperium, since their authority is so strong. You can't buy your way into an Inquisitorship, and those that have been dumb enough to try likely find themselves disappeared, regardless of wealth or status. Inquisitors can be men or women. It is a gender-agnostic position. Your abilities are all that matter for this role. Next, we have the Space Marine candidates themselves, and Space Marines are chosen from young boys, usually aged 9 to 12. Often from specific worlds the Marines have a long history of recruiting from, unless they are a roaming chapter. Because the process of becoming a Space Marine is best done on a pubescent boy, and the process is incompatible with female hormone/body types, then it is men that are often or only chosen. Those boys are put through absolute grueling tests, and those that survive those tests are given the opportunity to be elevated physically to the physique of a Space Marine. Then from there, to prove themselves based upon feats and mental flexibility, to become leaders or line members of their respective chapters. The specifics on how each chapter trains and the trials that the candidates go through tend to vary wildly from chapter to chapter, or are even more specialized in the case of chapters like the Grey Knights. Next, we have the Adeptus Custodes. Not much is known about what qualifies someone to become a candidate for the Adeptus Custodes. Neither do we know what the process really is to become one. It is one of the most closely guarded secrets of the Imperium, and only the Custodes really know, and the Emperor, what that process entails. In times past, the Emperor often chose members of his Custodes from the sons and daughters of nobility and leaders. One custody said his father had been a high-ranking king or leader of some other faction that the Emperor had killed. He seemed very non-judgmental and just stating a fact when talking about this. But anyways, ultimately, the only thing we know is the Emperor handpicked his Custodes from often exceptional individuals and circumstances. He likely saw a bit of their future selves in his foresight, because, for example, when he learned where Valder was, as a child, he dropped everything to go claim Valder, and Valder is exceptional even for a custody. Likely, the Emperor has seen his companions before in his visions, and knows or can link them to his visions when fighting them as children, or otherwise senses that they are to become another member of his companions. And last but certainly not least, number 4, we have the Sisters of Silence. The Imperium has what I would consider hyper-specialized roles and factions. Some are gender-specific, some are not. The Imperium as a system is not sexist at all. It can't afford to be, really, if you think about how much it has to hold back the forces of darkness it faces. As an example of this, the Sisters of Silence are all female, not because girls rock or something like that, but because the pariah or blank gene that is invaluable in fighting the Psykers and forces of the warp seem to appear in women more often than men. I have only ever seen 1 or 2 male pariahs ever in the lore, whereas there has been a decent amount of Sisters of Silence and other pariahs that are female beyond them that I've seen. Mystery as to why, nothing has been explained in this regard, but you will also never see a pariah space marine, because male pariahs either don't exist enough to be a source for marine recruitment, or the genes of a pariah are incompatible with the marine elevation. Nothing has ever been said on this topic though, but it is just given as an example as to how the Imperium tends to pick and choose based upon base ability at a genetic level, and then your ability to actually perform is the next main thing that they care about. Every other detail is often irrelevant as far as the system of the Imperium cares about. The Imperium cares not what the fuel is, it just cares that it can use you as fuel in whatever position that you ultimately take. No one is above the system of the Imperium, really. Everyone is being used up, even beings like Robout Goleman at the top as the Imperial Regent. Everything is in service to the Emperor and his will alone, and nothing else. And that is really it for this video today. I'm going to keep it kind of short. I know it's been a while since my last video. I'm going to try to come up with a longer series or longer video for the next one, and I really thank you all for subscribing to this channel and getting us to over 2,000 subscribers. That is an amazing milestone for me personally, and everyone's thought I would reach that level, even if it is a small number in the grand scheme of YouTube. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. I hope you like and subscribe if you're new, and I welcome you to the channel, and I will see you in that next video. Hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Talk to you soon.